Are you serious? Are you serious? We have some information, breaking news, just 27 minutes ago, reported by Reuters. Syria has agreed on Sunday, today, August the 28th, 2013, to let the United Nations inspect the site of the suspected chemical weapons attack. But a U.S. official says such an offer was too late to be credible. And Washington was all but certain the government had gassed its own people. Now, the United States remarks appeared to signal that a military response was more likely. A senior senator said he believed President Barack Obama would ask for authorization to use force when Congress returns from recess next month. So, the comments followed forceful remarks from other Western powers, including Britain and France, which also believed that President Bashar Assad's government was behind the massive poison gas attack that killed hundreds, and some reports are 2,000 people. And I do know a report 3,600 people are disabled and severely damaged from the nerve gas. This is the worst chemical attack in 25 years. The United Nations said Damascus had agreed to the ceasefire while the UN team of experts inspect the site from Monday. Syria confirmed it had agreed to allow the inspectors. All right, now here's the thing about it. Obama truly believes, without a doubt, Assad did it. But I keep asking, why would Assad do it? Why would Assad gas his own people when he looks as if he was winning the war? Now, the other question is, maybe it was done by the Muslim Brotherhood. And they could then blame Assad and ask the Americans and NATO to join in and to bomb Assad's palaces, his military installations, his air force, and anything he can to cripple their military ability to defend Damascus. So with these two scenarios, Russia says that it was certainly the Muslim Brotherhood who did it. Obama says it was certainly Assad's government that did it. And I've already revealed to you Obama's 11-point plan to literally conquer half of Syria and set up a separate capital and call it South Syria and leave Assad, Damascus, and northern Syria for the north to be called Northern Syria. And there's already an 11-point plan that Stephen of Oklahoma got to me, and I revealed it to you about a week ago. And you can watch it on one of my YouTube videos. Let me tell you what else is going on. But Russia has spoken. And Reuters is reporting that Russia warned the United States of America today, August the 28th, 2013, against repeating past mistakes, saying that any unilateral military action in Syria would undermine the efforts for peace and have a devastating impact on the security situation in the Middle East. Russia's foreign ministry said its statement was a response to the United States' actions to give it the option of an armed strike against Syria. Now, it drew a parallel between reports that Syrian Bashar Assad forces had used chemical weapons and Washington's 2003 intervention in Iraq, following the accusations by then President George W. Bush and his administration that the Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein government had possessed weapons of mass destruction. Now, we once again decisively urge the United States not to repeat the mistakes of the past and not to allow actions to go against the international law, says the Foreign Ministry of Russia. Any unilateral military action bypassing the United Nations will lead to further escalation in Syria and will affect the already explosive situation in the Middle East in the most devastating way. Now, Moscow said any military action would severely hamper the joint U.S.-Russian efforts for an international peace conference to end the civil war that has killed more than 100,000 people. The threat to use force against the Syrian regime sends the Syrian opposition conflicting signals. The ministry said all sponsors of the opposition which have influence over it must seek the fastest possible agreement from Bashar Assad's opponents to hold talks. U.S. President Barack Obama met with his security advisors today and actually yesterday as well on August 27, 2013 to debate options following reports of the alleged chemical attack. U.S. naval forces have been repositioned, and I reported on this last night, in the Mediterranean Sea to give Washington the option of an armed strike. So in other words, U.S. aircraft carriers have been moved into position close enough to Syria that with ease they could literally rain Tomahawk cruise missiles upon Assad and his government in Syria. Bible prophecy certainly hanging in the balance here, as Isaiah 17 prophesied, behold, the burden of Damascus. Behold, Damascus is no longer, it's taken away from being a city, and it has become a ruinous heap. So, we're going to talk about this tonight. Obviously, other information. I have great researchers out there that are doing a fabulous job. Matter of fact, that last report I just read, that was from Troy of North Carolina. The one before that was from Renee Kay. I've also received information from Sheila Clemens. I have information from Nick of New York. I have Amber of Arkansas on sinkholes. We're going to talk about. There's just so much to discuss. And matter of fact, I got this today. I'm trying to remember who sent this to me. I think this was sent to me by Pumpkin Shod. But there is reports that breaking news that under the Obamacare bill, unknown government agents have the authority to force their way into your homes unannounced without a search warrant. You read, and it's under Obamacare. They could come underneath the Obamacare bill that they can enter into your home to check for, gas leaks. Do you have fire alarms properly working? Do you have water that is not polluted? Do you have heat on in the winter? Is your children being fed? I mean, all of these things they can do with under the guise of Obamacare. So we're going to discuss that, and we're going to discuss the Iowa Christian couple fears the shutting down of the wedding facility in Iowa. There are homosexuals wanting to get married at one of the Christian wedding chapels. It used to be a Lutheran church in Iowa, in Grimes, Iowa. And they are now getting ready to file a lawsuit against that church because they've refused to marry gays. And then while that's going on, we have churches are actually going and changing their bylaws after the gay marriage ruling that was passed and signed by Chris Christie in New Jersey. The reason these churches are going to do that is so that they can say to people when they're asked, say, no, we can't marry homosexuals because it's in our bylaws. So they're having to scramble to do that. And then, I never thought this would ever happen, but then again, I said someday maybe they'll do it. The federal government is now requiring a permit to baptize outside in Missouri, the Gladden Baptist Church in Salem, Missouri. And they've been baptizing in this creek for 50 years. but they have been told that they have to get a permit. Now, these things are all taking place, plus a ton of more stuff. We're going to share all of these things with you tonight on Sunday Night Live. Don't miss the show. Whatever you do, don't miss the show, because 2 Sunday nights ago we had 64 people give their lives to Jesus Christ. In an hour and 20 minutes, an outpouring of the Spirit of God came up on the broadcast that I never had felt before. It was so powerful. And people just kept saying, I want to be saved. 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 It was miraculous. And wow, God, we had over 700 people in the chat room. It was a mighty move of God. And I'm expecting God to save souls again tonight. So don't miss the show, please. And if you know somebody that's not saved, please get them here, because we got some important information to talk to them tonight that will literally reshape your thinking about the fact that we're on the edge of eternity. We're at the apocalyptic hour. We're on the brink of the beast. Something biblical's going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. And of course, if you haven't read my wife's blog that she wrote last night called Silent Jihad, you need to go right now to www.HeidiBegleyBlogspot.com. You need to read her blog, and it is so powerful. It is unbelievably powerful. I'm not saying it because it's my wife. I'm just saying read it and you tell me. It is absolutely the truth, eye-opening information of what's taking place around the world. I'm Pastor Paul Begley. I'll see you tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, at www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. That's www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. Go there, hit the live show page. You'll be right there. You can watch it live with a live chat room that you can participate in, and with all the rest. And I'll be there. You can interact with me right there, live on the air. God bless you in Jesus' name.